Hello and welcome to Claudia K Behind the Scenes. If you are new to me, I have a other channel and it's called Claudia K Vintage, and I sell vintage items and make light-hearted content over there. And what you don't see is behind the scenes. I have multiple chronic illnesses, and a lot of days it's very difficult to get out of bed. I have fibromyalgia, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, I have hypothyroidism. I'm trying to remember everything I've been officially diagnosed with, because then there are other things I suspect that I have not been diagnosed with. Anyway, I'll go into all of that in, I'm going to do a series of timeline videos and go into all of that. But welcome. Thanks for being here. If you are interested in hearing about chronic illness and my journey with it, I was diagnosed in 1997 when I was 24, and I turned 50 this year, which means I have now officially lived more years in pain than I have not. And I'm going to talk about that on this channel, and I am going to talk about things that have worked for me and things that haven't worked for me. I'm going to talk about medical trauma, so if that's triggering, be aware. I'm going to chronicle this year as I try to heal and come back from some of the mental and physical damage of the last couple of years, because 2020 was not kind to any of us, and we all suffered. But if you had chronic illness, you suffered a lot more, because stress makes all chronic illness worse, and so there's a lot of stress. So we're going to talk about that. Mom and I have some plans for eating healthy foods that will build back up my cells and my body and things like that. So all of that's going to be on this channel. And content here is very different from my Claudia K Vintage channel. I'm going to be real with you guys. That's why I look like this. No makeup, no jewelry, no fun hats or fun hair colors, because this is how I am 99% of the time. I do just the 2 1-hour sales weekly. Every now and then I guest on someone else's channel, but I physically can't do more. And what you guys don't see behind the scenes is the sheer exhaustion and the pain of having to sit in this chair and all of that. So all of that's going to be here, all of the not fun stuff. But I am hoping to encourage other people who are dealing with chronic illness. Maybe you've been newly diagnosed, and something I've been through will help you. Maybe you had it 26 years like I have, and you think you've reached your breaking point and don't know how you're going to go on. We'll figure that out together. Let's do that this year. Let's figure out how to keep moving forward when we've now been sick for more than half of our lives. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. I did make some notes so I didn't forget anything. Let me just check. Oh, don't forget to, I always forget to tell you guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested. If you think that this will be too much and you don't have the bandwidth or the energy or the spoons, it will not hurt my feelings if you do not subscribe to my channel. Chronic illness is hard. It's depressing. It's difficult. It's painful. It's alienating. And if you don't have the capacity to sit with me in my pain, I understand. Believe me, I understand. Got my Fiber Warrior shirt on today. But if you want to follow along with me on my journey, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Let's see. So the first videos that I'm going to work on, and I don't have any other filmed besides this intro video, are just going to be like a timeline, because I suspect there were some deeper issues that have never been diagnosed that led to some of the other issues And so I'm gonna go all the way back to childhood, and I'm gonna share some of those things with you. And I'm gonna make videos about like the supplements that I take, but nothing I ever say is medical advice. Ever. Disclaimer, no medical advice on here. This is just my personal journey and experience with chronic illness. I'll also probably talk about, I know that at some point I will definitely make a video of all the supplements that I take and things that mobility aids I use, things that help me get through daily life. So talk about all of those. Don't know. Let's see. Oh, there will be no tolerating of blaming or shaming in the comments. Having lived with this for 26 years, I know that a lot of times people, in their mind, they think that they are being helpful. They're well-meaning. And what they're doing is blaming or shaming the person with chronic illness. And if you have chronic illness, it is not your fault. It is not because you are fat. It is not because you didn't eat right. It is not because you didn't do this or did do this or were in this place at this time. It's in your DNA. You are genetically coded to get this chronic illness. It's not your fault. It is not. I had a sign drop on my head at work when I went in on my day off to pick up some overtime hours that triggered the fibromyalgia, a traumatic injury to the body. And for a very long time, I was very angry at myself for having gone into work that day. And I was just like, if I hadn't gone into work. But you know what? Even if I hadn't gone into work that day to pick up the extra shift, the first time I had a car accident, it would have triggered the fibromyalgia. So there will be no blaming or shaming of people with chronic illness on this channel. And as always, with all of my social media, no hate, no bigotry, no racism. None of that is ever tolerated. This is a safe space, just like my other channel and my Instagram and eventually my TikTok. I have a TikTok. I just don't have videos loaded yet. So safe space. We're going to be kind. And if you are unkind, I will delete the comment, and if you continue to be unkind, I'll just block you. So just want to make that very clear from the beginning. I think that maybe I've met 1 or 2 people that were somebody I couldn't have on my channel. I mean, met, in YouTube world. And the first one was very seriously, they were an issue for a bunch of people in the vintage community. So, 99.9% of everybody that I've met in my social media journey on here has been the kindest, most accepting, uplifting people. And those are the kind of people that I want to continue to have follow me along on my journey. Okay, just checking. I think that's it. I did give the trigger warning. I think there's... I knocked over a brass swan that's about to go into a display behind me. I'm going to talk about trauma. I'm going to talk about some medical trauma, because if you've got chronic illness, you have experienced medical trauma. There has been some doctor or multiple doctors somewhere who did not believe you, who made you worse. I was prescribed a medication at one point that should never have been prescribed for me. They accidentally hit the wrong thing in the computer, and the pharmacy didn't catch it either, and everybody played this blame game, but I almost died. So, trigger warning, there's some medical trauma in here. And while I'm sharing my story, the one thing that I will be very careful to do is to not share other people's stories. So there are things I have to leave out to protect other people. Like, my marriage wasn't good, and if I talk about that too much, then I'm going to do harm to my children, my adult children. in talking about their father. So I'm not going to do that. So I will be as honest as I can while just protecting people, innocent people who might be hurt by some of the story. So just so you're aware that I'm not lying about anything. There are just some things I'm not going to be able to share. But, you know, when you have chronic illness, every stressor makes you worse and depletes you. And so a lot of things that I've been through that contributed to me being worse that I can't go into detail about. So just so you know that. But if you stuck with me this far, thank you. Thank you for popping onto my new channel. And hopefully you find some useful information here. And you, if you're chronically ill, you've found somebody who understands. I've been there. I'm going through it. And if you want to sit here with me in my pain, I'm sitting there with you in your pain. And I hope that you feel welcome here. And just thanks for being here, guys.